The Bitcoin and crypto markets have seen yet another day in the red, but could we have light at the end of the tunnel? Have we seen the bottom, folks? It appears as if maybe we have. And regardless, in today's video, I'm going to tell you my experiences being in this space for 12 years and having seen several of these cycles, and show you some evidence to kind of suggest exactly where we are at right now with this correction. And hopefully after you watch this video, you will feel better about this, and this could prevent you from making a lot of mistakes that often newcomers or even veterans alike that forget this could learn from. So if you guys are excited, do me a favor, destroy that like button. If you're new to the channel, what's up? My name is Kyle. Let's get into it without further ado. So first thing we're gonna do is look over here at the Banter bubbles, and you can see, like, it seems like every day or every yeah, whatever. When I filmed this, these seem to be green, and then as soon as it's published, it turns into red. But one thing I want to point out here, which is interesting, this is the hourly, this is the daily. One of the things that's, it's always good to tell which one pops the hardest when the market does rebound. And what struck me as odd today was Polkadot. As you may know, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, was once very bullish on Polkadot and then lost a lot of faith in it. And I think where it's headed right now is a very interesting direction. So I will talk about that toward the end of the video as well. But what happened? So just like an hour ago, you had a lot of bullishness on the timeline. So this was this green candle all the way up here looked pretty nice, and then smash. And so it seems like this, which was once the support line that we drew before, has now turned into resistance in a way here. So let's see if this is able to break through this again on the way up. But right now, I'm still not comfortable trading the market, and I'm going to go back to the same thing I've been saying for days: is take time to look, to kind of figure out where you want to place your bets, because the time is ticking. And as we get through this video, we're going to show you some evidence here to show you kind of where we are here and where we can expect to move forward. So this is exactly why I'm not doing leverage trading, because there's been $500 million, probably even more than that right now, with this recent. I'm sure there was tons of liquidations right here as well. I'm sure everyone thought, oh, this is the bottom in. And I don't have the volume charts pulled up here too either. But like when this came down, this is a huge volume on this red candle here, which oftentimes signals kind of the bottom or a top, at least locally. And so when people saw this, they probably did a lot, like leverage long, and then bam, fake out. So guys, be careful out there. Like I said, it's a PvE environment, and you're not likely to win unless it's a full-time job. So we have another day with the US ETFs and BlackRock again with a 0. And GBTC, like, come on guys, you got to run out of money sooner or later, out of Bitcoin. But some interesting news out of Hong Kong is that actually the results have come in from the first. Actually, I think we're still missing, I don't know, but in yesterday's video, we talked about how at first people thought it was $11 million of inflow, and then we told you here on the channel that it was actually 123 million or something from China AM or whatever, China AMC or whatever it's called. And then we got another report later in the day of BODEN ETF bringing in another $61 million on day one, to put the total AUM of now Hong Kong ETFs in around 200 million, which is actually pretty good. And relative to the size of the US ETF market, if you were to do relative size, because the US ETF market is exponentially bigger, it would be about the equivalent of $33 billion on day one in the US market. So relative size, it's pretty staggering, actually. So that's because, I mean, the relative size doesn't matter, like when it comes to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is the same price all around the world, no matter what current, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, but it was a big day for them anyway, nonetheless. So this is what I was wondering, when we would see the fear and greed index come back down. And I'm curious to see how in 2 hours and 36 minutes this changes. My gut tells me this goes a bit lower here, but it's finally, even like we're now in some sort of neutral stance, no fear yet. And as we look at these charts, you tend to see, like this one in particular, that usually these things correct or you start turning up again once you get into at least like this orange, just 30 to 40 on the fear and greed. And we're not quite there yet. We're still in this 50 to 60 range right here. So it wouldn't be, you don't see too many times, like, I mean, this one here, I guess, where it just went down to the yellow and then back up again. And that could be what happens here. But to me, it feels a little bit like this. So I think that we maybe have a little bit more time. We'd like to see the fear and greed index maybe come down somewhere to the 30 to 40 range, and we might see a run up again. I mean, that's just that one, take into account that one factor, right? So I posted earlier today saying, damn, this is looking absolutely brutal to the average person. Probably hearing people crack out those. And if you've been in space long enough, we've all been through this. All the friends and stuff that you were always telling to get into crypto, maybe they're starting to crack out those jokes like, oh, so how's that Bitcoin doing, huh? Or like in little smirk on their smug smirk on their face. We know better. But for the big brains, this is an incredible opportunity for 3 reasons. 1, price will slowly bleed, consolidate for days or weeks, and then go higher. So great time to DCA into coins you have high conviction in. Let me see if I could change this. I can't do it. I can't. Okay, it's kind of annoying because I have the noise canceling on these earpods, and like I sound like I feel like I'm. Anyway, this period gives you ample opportunity to observe what coins are in your current portfolio and what sectors are showing strength. They will bounce back the hardest. This gives you time to not panic sell, but rather research. It's not over. It's just history repeating itself. Make the most of the time. This is what I've been saying on and on, guys, and I just wanted to reiterate that because we have time now, and sometimes it feels like you have to go do something. You have to make a move here. But we don't. You can just sit back, relax, and study the market. Literally study, because when things are popping and ripping, it doesn't feel like you have time to study. It doesn't feel like you have time to actually look into things. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm actually taking the time right now. I've actually been looking at a lot of, I spent a lot of the weekend looking at AI, different AI videos about autonomous AI agents. I think this is going to be very beneficial. If you guys have any suggestions of any videos that you watch, or if you guys are using AI agents in your day-to-day workflow or your research or anything, let me know in the comments below. If you think that you could be a great asset to the channel and know how to use a lot of these AI tools and AI agents and can help expedite and help with a lot of stuff on the social side, please send us an email at media@mvglobal.io and just put like AI expert or something in the subject line. You don't have to be an AI expert on like the actual how to build AI, but how to use all the tools that are out there. Would be awesome to talk to you. So that's what I've been doing, right? Because I think that using something like AI tools, it does have a bit of a learning curve, and that requires you to stop and kind of take time from what you're doing to learn these things. But I feel like when you do get that finally down, it can save you so much time and make your process so much more efficient. Like just the ability to listen to a let's say, an hour and a half podcast, and you don't want to sit there and listen to the whole thing, just run it through AI and let it give you the most interesting points from the discussion, right? So, or make a bunch of tweets about it or whatever. Okay, we already talked about this fear and greed index. Coinbase came out with a similar kind of tweet, but they just took the averages of the previous markets and said, there have been 5 Bitcoin bull markets. In an average bull market, you will have to survive the following to ride it up to the top: 6, 5 to 10% drawdowns; 3, 10 to 20% drawdowns; 2, 20 to 30% drawdowns; 1, 30 to 40% drawdown; and then the final, which is probably the bear market, a 40 to 70% drawdown, all during a bull market. So it's just par for the course, guys. And I know that I keep saying this every day, but it's important to remind you because it does seem like people are getting more worried every single day. And this is exactly when you do not want to sell, right? And there's another tweet that I'll get into in just a second that highlights this psychology very well. But as Rec Capital says, this is officially the deepest retrace, about 24% right now, of this current cycle. And to give you a little bit of perspective here, this is from Quinton. I like this. It shows you the US ETF approval, the big correction we had after it, Hong Kong ETF approval, and look what ensued after that. So this is what we could expect to see fairly soon, in my opinion. And another one over here from El Crypto Prof says, BTC bottom close or finally in. The better RSI gives a red signal in the past. It has always signaled the bottom. Bitcoin is also moving on a trend line that has been in place since October 2023. Didn't think we'd see such a buying opportunities again. So you can see that every time there's been this RSI, every time it hits these red dots, it typically correlates to a move up, especially here and here again. You can see all the other times it hasn't, but and then also this trend line that's been forming, it's about to tap it right here. So it's just another point of technical analysis, which, take it for what it's worth. Like, here's another one for you. So this is the support band, right? And it typically acts as a support in a bull market and acts as resistance in a bear market. So you can see bull market, it's acting as resistance. Bear market, it's acting it's support and acting as resistance over here. Support, resistance, etc., etc. And it's again coinciding with the last slide I just showed you, where it's about to bounce off of the support line here. Yeah, it could break through for a little bit, but we're getting close. Like, you don't see it drop significantly below in like maybe here, right? But this is a black swan. This is the COVID. This is a horrible day for markets. And Aaron says, the path to Bitcoin cycle top is built on fear, panic, and market crashes. Also euphoria and greed. We'll throw that in there because it's a mix. It's a roller coaster ride. Like it looks like a roller coaster, right? And it is a roller coaster ride of emotions. If you are watching this channel, if you guys are staying in tune with what's going on, even if you're new, you'll know better, and avoid making the same mistake that a lot of people do of coming in when chasing green candles when Bitcoin's already pumping, and then you buy the top, and then it comes down a little bit, and then you like hold for a little bit, and it keeps going down and going down, and you're like, man, and then literally when you, I don't know where is this other tweet I had in here somewhere. I don't know what it was, but basically what it summed up was like, where is it? I don't know. I'm not sure it's in here somewhere. But basically it was like, what was it? It was basically like saying when you want to give up and quit, that's when you should be buying. And when you feel like showing your portfolio to your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, that's probably when you should be selling. So this tends to typically be the, like when we're getting super euphoric and the fear and greed index is completely agreed. This is when we need to be careful. And as it comes back down and people get more afraid and you start to get frustrated and you feel like giving up, is when you should probably be buying. And this, if you guys have ever traded leverage and you're not good at it, like myself, you will know that emotionally we make these mistakes and the market always punishes you for emotionally getting involved. So I wrote up a big thread on DOT, and because I do think that it's such a significant technology. The problem is that the team, like Gavin and team, Gavin's the co-founder of Ethereum. He basically wrote the whole smart contracts for Ethereum, and then went off and built Polkadot as kind of what Ethereum wanted to become in Ethereum 2.0. Well, Polkadot's been making a lot of changes lately. One is the Polkadot 2.0, which is getting rid of the parachain model and making it more like a roll app model. So so anyone can have their own kind of blockchain. Substrate, which is a very valuable, used by a lot of the best infrastructures in the world. And it's a perfect environment for like AI, for example. So there's also a lot of the best AI projects are already building on Substrate in the Polkadot environment because it was made for this. It was made for this. And so this is all just the data showing like about, it's building the case of why, of the boom of AI and how much it will need decentralized infrastructure and how it'll need to process data and the size of data and then interoperability and all these kind of things. So why choose Polkadot for AI development? Scalability and interoperability is superior. Polkadot's multi-chain architecture allows parallel processing, essential for managing the data in deluge and complex AI tasks without bottlenecks. And you can see there's already some very significant AI projects building in Polkadot. So you got OriginTrail, Phala Network, Bittensor, Substrate, and of course my favorite, BasedAI, which is not on the list, also using Substrate as well. So it is very, very good architecture, and hopefully with the 2.0 version where people will be able to use essentially pair of chains or pair of threads or just these roll apps where you can basically just kind of have the shared security of Polkadot, which is very secure, but you don't have to spend, you don't have to commit tons of capital, and that the parachain leasing model just didn't really work out very well, and so there's a lot of scaling implementations have been added into it as well, and it's been lagging the entire market this entire time. Polkadot, it just seems like it's been forgotten about, and for them to find the right narrative and hopefully put some more effort into amplifying that narrative. So at this point, I just think that it could be a good play. I don't yet have high conviction, but I'll tell you this: I have a lot of DOT, from back in the day, and I've this whole time been hoping that they're going to pull something out because it seemed like a shame to sell it, and I'm not going to sell it right now because I think that it's evolving in the good way. And oddly enough, it's trending over here as well. I just saw that right now. So, and another piece of evidence from Quentin just says, this is just a few minutes ago, after the FOMC meeting, quantitative easing and money printing is here. So basically, you guys know how we talked about this, the yen carry trade, Japan a couple days ago. Well, if that starts unwinding, what faces the biggest risk? It was Japan that's the biggest holder of U.S. Treasury bills and bonds, over like $1.1 trillion worth. Coincidentally, the U.S. Treasury is launching its first buyback program since 2002. They plan to buy back U.S. Treasuries up to $2 billion, and I don't know what TIPS is. treasury issues, blah, 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 something, up to 500 million per operation. And this is just the initial, right? But it all comes down to protecting the integrity of the global belief that U.S. treasuries and bonds are still one of the most safest and secure investments in the world. And so they can't, if this Japanese carry trade ends up unwinding, they're going to have to print like crazy. And they already are taking forward thinking or taking active measures right now to defend that. So it is unfolding. It is, as we've been talking about, money printer. The only way to buy these bills back up is to print money and buy them up. So I was going to talk to you guys a little bit about, let's see if I should or not. I don't know. Like, okay, we have another a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit. Like this is all very, like, I don't have high conviction in any of this, really. Well, some of it I do. I'll tell you. I'll walk you through. So this has been popping back up again, and a lot of people said Bored Ape Yacht Club was dead and blah blah blah. This is Kaito, the AI tool I always use to find sentiment and metrics and where the mind share is of the crypto community. And you can see Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape is up here amongst the top, and it's pretty much like the cheapest. I think the floor is I don't know what I did with it. I think the floor is at about 12.7 ETH right now, which is still expensive, and I know that it's too expensive for a lot of people, but 12.59 ETH. This was, I think, like 150 in the bull market, right? So, and it probably will go back to that or more, since you guys building out the other side, and like, and as people get more rich in a bull market, they can afford these kind of things. So, am I buying more myself? No, no. But if you've been considering it for a while, it might be a good time to pick one up if it's within your budget. Or if that's out of the range, like Mutant Ape is, I think they're just as cool, and you could pick those up for 2.39 right now. I'm quite confident that these are going to come back big time. So that's one thought there, and I just want to bring that to your attention. Do with that what you will. It's not me saying to go buy anything. And as you guys know, I talked about this before. We called out BODEN on the 5th day of trading at like nothing market cap, and then it shot all the way up to like $1 billion. And so I've been pretty disappointed that I missed this out, especially because looking back, hindsight is just, it's so obvious. He is such a meme in this guy, right? And right now, since I drew this prepping for the show, it's gone up a little bit, but it's still a 61% pullback from the top. And as we get closer to election, and as BODEN over here makes more mistakes and just acts like a meme in everyday real life, I think this thing could run. So dollar cost averaging right now into something like this, and it has traction. So like what I did is I came over to Deck Screener, right, and just to kind of look at things, and I wanted to look by volume, because volume is a good indicator of like how many people are interested in how much is moving back and forth. And you can see up here, number 7 is BODEN, right? And then I was also looking at like, okay, what has big volume but like low market cap? Well, this CZ 4 months thing, and like this, but I don't think those are gonna hold, right? Like in the number 4, I don't see those catching on at all. But of course, BODEN is up here. I saw that, and that caught my eye, and so that's something I'm considering right now. Of course, Tucker down 52% right now. So like the point is that these, could they go lower? Yeah. Could this be a fake out here? Sure. But how much lower might it go? We don't really know. And so if you're looking to scale into some of these things, you know, they were just getting started, right? Like it's just getting started when, and this is one of my favorites. He's hilarious. And so I just think that this is it's a 52 million FTV right now. Like this thing, like if he keeps putting out the kind of content that they've been putting out, like this is going to a bill for sure, maybe even more. Like it just depends on how big they build the brand. So, and then GUMMY was the other one that I was kind of, like I was sleeping when they launched, and then I woke up to like a $250 million market cap, and my Tucker airdrop was worth like $30. So I'm looking at this right now as another opportunity to scale in. And why? Well, it's the Crypto Banter community that launched it. They launched it in the proper way. And, I woke up to a $250 billion FTV, and now it's at 117. So again, like a 52% pullback or whatever from all-time highs. And what they're doing right now with this meme staking website is a good idea, because the memes are not going to die this run, and memes need a way to get attention. And so what GUMMY is doing is they're having this meme staking platform to get attention. It's kind of like what Elio Trades is doing with Super First, in a way that if you want exposure through the Banter family, then you can do a partnership with them where essentially you can you can stake your GUMMY on the platform, and then anyone who wants to partner with the GUMMY staking will have to give a certain percentage of supply to the GUMMY holders, or to GUMMY, and then I believe what GUMMY will do is take those tokens. I believe they'll sell them for GUMMY, and then they'll burn the supply. So it should reduce supply. So this is kind of like now a leverage play on the entire meme space in a way. And there's, and Banter is continuously growing, a lot of great hosts over there, and they're all incentivized to do this. Plus the community is just wild. So, I think at 117 plus, you start to see, more and more listings. They're well connected. Exchanges really like to work to please their big affiliates, and as you know, they've got Sniper School and the Whale School and Ran, and they send a lot of volume to exchanges. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this gets listed on all the major exchanges that they're partnered with. So with that being said, guys, yeah, I don't know. This just I'm not going to play the whole thing, but Tucker, they'd have a YouTube channel as well. This maybe just play this end, just the end here of this, because this.
Gay Sailor, you've advocated for a robust regulatory framework for years now. So what's your take on the recent slew of FUD being thrown at the crypto industry, and crucially, how the market seems to have absorbed it?
Tucker, I love you, and if you want to trade in unregistered securities, be my guest. But don't come crying to daddy when the regulators decide to step in and ruin the party, because I really don't give a flying fuck how the IRS or the DOJ or the GHB decides to go about it.
What's the GHB?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anyway, you are one of the largest Bitcoin holders out there.
The rumors are true, my friend.
You must be pretty excited by how the market is holding above $60,000.
I don't give a fuck about short-term price fluctuations, Tucker. Bitcoin is a leather club in cyberspace, and it's going up forever.
Well, tell me then, are you frightened by the proposed 44% tax on capital gains?
Tucker, I once stayed up for 11 days straight on a meth binge on Fire Island, okay? I don't scare that easily. When Bitcoin plummeted to 15K, I was out smashing fat lines with Max Kaiser in San Salvador. And I don't even care if they want to tax it at 100% because I'm never fucking selling a single Satoshi. As far as unrealized gains are concerned, these tax laws are unworkable. They'll destroy middle-class America. And I think it's no more than saber rattling from a desperate government hooked on the most dangerous drug of all.
Heroin?
Money printing, which is basically the same thing, Tucker. It feels great when you slam that first hit. In fact, it's great for the first few months. But the next thing you know, you're wandering around the Castro at 3 a.m. and you're with BitBoy and he's got no clothes on and you're fiending like crazy and your hands are shaking and you'd pretty much do anything not to feel this way anymore. And you know you're going to end up having sex with him just so he shares that last crumb with you. And then that's exactly what happens. And you're under a bridge in the Tenderloin. And when you feel his cold, sweaty chest on your back and hear him howling at the moon, you wonder how the fuck you got here and where it all went so wrong.
That's all from us, folks. God bless. And remember, the ticker
Is BTC.
Shut the fuck up.
It's hilarious. It's a good way to break up my day. Thanks. Okay, guys, and that's gonna wrap it up. One more thing. I'll leave you with this. So, and it just reminded me here of this Michael Saylor discussion. Like, you know, in 2013 is when I exited fiat for Bitcoin and have been trying to store most of my wealth in that and then sell it as I need to pay for expenses. I never even thought about market cycles, to be honest, before. You know, now that have businesses in the industry and then we have this channel and we're trying to figure out how to maximize and how to help you guys make money, I pay more attention to market cycles because, you know, maybe you don't have the luxury of having been in so early, right? But we are still very early. Because just like I was, I mean, I'm way more now convinced and confident than I was then, but back then I was pretty sure that Bitcoin would have its place in the world. I didn't know that it was going to become a world reserve currency, and today I couldn't be more confident that it will be. So I think that the best thing to do is really don't focus so much on short-term price. It is focus on the long term here. This should not be, and even though we've done, even on this channel, we did over 100x with WIF, and we've done plenty of other 30x's and 40x's. It's that should be anomaly and exception, not the norm. And we don't want to get used to that, right? You want to try to keep yourself more grounded for long term. You know, before crypto, you know, most people thought about like a career and retiring at the age of like 60 or something, right? And now we can probably do that comfortably, depending on how big your portfolio is. From even if you're starting with $500, $1,000, like probably in 2 market cycles, you know. So this bull run, if you play your cards right, will set you up pretty well. And then if you play your cards right again, the next one is when you can take those gains and multiply them again one more time to set you up comfortably for life. You may not get uber rich, but you might. So try to have, you know, always zoom out. Don't focus on short-term price so much because it'll get the best of you, and know where we're headed, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.